Of
do
course.
a little bit of ChatGPT.
Everyone, you need to write a serious letter.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, this is what a brand partnership is, or this is what a deck is, or just little nuggets like that you only get when you're really in the industry. Again, features ASAP Ferg, ASAP Rocky, Goldie. It features Michelle Lamy.
So thank you so much for coming into Dalston. I know it was a bit of a journey for you today.
Yeah.
So the podcast is called One Towel at a Time. It's a podcast by Phantom Towels, and it's about meeting people that have built and been a part of building brands, products, communities, charities that we're inspired by. And we wanted to speak to the founders and just hear about how they did it and what it took to get to that point. So thank you so much for coming in. We're both very new to this whole thing. So anybody listening, if there's any clunky moments, please forgive us. So today we have Bisoye, and please tell me how to pronounce your surname.
Oh, Babalola.
Babalola. Bisoye Babalola. She holds a BEM. She's the owner and creator of Holiday Club, an incubator for young talent in the UK and further afield. Phantom Towels was turned on to Bisoye's charity by a mutual friend of ours, JP Scott, who owns Salt Salon.
Yep.
And he was actually one of the mentors of one of your programs. Yeah,
he was he was a hair and grooming mentor on the summer school.
Amazing. And the summer school happens, that's every summer, or? Yeah,
the summer school is an annual program. It happens every summer in August.
Amazing. And how long does it run for?
3 weeks, but it's kind of like never ending, to be honest. It's 3 weeks in terms of what we do in terms of practicality in the workshops and stuff, but we work with the young people all, like once they're in our alumni, we're constantly working with them and sharing opportunities with them. So I don't know if it ever ends really, but
right.
Yeah, I guess the practicality is 3 weeks.
So it's a point in the calendar where you can say, okay, this is when the curriculum starts.
Yeah.
But actually, once you're in, you're part of the family, and
basically, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, basically. It doesn't, basically, that's it.
Incredible. I think it would be amazing for people to just understand all about you and how you started, and who are you, where are you from? This is only the second time that we've met.
Yeah.
So and we've been speaking by email, which is never the best way to get to know someone. But if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, where you're from, and where you grew up.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you firstly, Jonathan, for having me. My name is Bisoye Babalola. I grew up in Clapham Junction. I lived in Clapham Junction for the most part of my life. I don't know. What do you want to know? Like, it's hard for me. What should I talk about first?
Yeah, well, I think it would just be really cool for people to just understand what you were like when you were young. What were your passions as a child? Was there anything that was like a standout that you thought would take you into the creative world that you're involved in now?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Yeah. I mean, I think definitely from a young age, I always knew I wanted to be into business. I knew from probably around age 7 or 8 that I wanted to be in business. So I had started various little, like as you're a kid, just doing little projects at that time. I guess maybe not knowing the wording and the kind of like entrepreneurialism and all that kind of stuff, but definitely had like a little cake business that I would sell in the barbershop near my house.
Oh, really? Amazing. What kind of cakes?
It was like fairy cakes. It was nothing like too
cute.
serious, but like my mum had bought me for Christmas, those little easy bake oven kind of things like for kids.
Yes.
So I had one of them. It was like a one shelf, and then I had just like started baking cakes and stuff, and I would sell them in the barbershop. And then from there, I guess I started to, as I grew up and I started to become more exposed to just culture and just life, I started to learn more about the actual term an entrepreneur. And I remember saying that when I was in secondary school, and everyone was like, what the hell? Like, what is she talking about? Like, I was like 12 years old, or are you 12 or 13? Whatever it was in year 7. I remember our teacher made us write notes to ourselves that we would open at the end of year 11. And I wrote that I want to be an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a statement for a young person to make.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew what that was or even be able to spell it at that age.
But I think because I was very exposed to hip hop as a child, and also very exposed to like American culture, and it's a bit like what we were saying before we started filming, like American culture rather is like very entrepreneurial, very independent. And also I'm Nigerian as well, which is a very similar culture. It's very independent, very grind. And I think I just started picking up the wording, and it just appealed to me, the lifestyle that comes with that. I think more so at that age was more about like the lifestyle that comes with like, or what I perceived to be the lifestyle at that age of what comes with entrepreneurialism. And I knew, I was like, I want to do this. So yeah, at age 12, I was like, most of my secondary school life, actually, I was quite ambitious. I had done internships like at age 14. I was like writing for magazines and just trying to figure out what it is I'm going to do. But I knew from that age, I knew I want to do something. I'm going to have a business, and I'm just going to figure out what that is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because I think most people are trying to figure out which superhero they love or what kind of jeans they want to wear with their friends.
Yeah.
That's really a unique perspective. I don't think, even though my mother had a hair salon, I didn't realize that was her business. I just thought that's where she worked, you know, because you're just a stupid kid. And especially boys, we take some time to get there, right?
That's true. That's true. But,
so I'm curious, what were the internships apart from the magazines?
Yeah, so I had done one at Live magazine, which was the magazine one, but it was interesting because Live is basically a very similar formula to what we have right now at Holiday Club, but Live was like there. I did Channel 4 as well. I did 2 internships at Channel 4, actually. I did one in corporate relations or corporate partnership, something like that. So it was around that corporate side, and then the other one was in the marketing department. And then I've done another internship, but I don't remember where that one was. That one was something to do. That one wasn't really like a formal internship. My cousin used to make music, and I would just like help out when he went to the studio, but it wasn't like a form. But I mean, at that term, he packaged it to me as an internship. So.
Of course, yeah, roping family
basically,
in.
yeah. But yeah, those were like the main ones I did. And obviously I did like ones with school as well. So I had done an internship at VSO, which is a charity that works with VSO works with refugees, I believe, and I had done an internship there. But I was just always just trying to figure out like, how am I going to get into what this, I mean, even at 16 I had applied for junior apprentice as well. I didn't make it on, unfortunately, but I had got around the first couple of stages. I was on the stage just before you kind of go onto the live shows. So that was like I was really pushing for it. Like I knew from a young age, I knew I'm going to do something. I just don't know what it is yet. So I had done junior apprentice.
Could you take us through the process of junior apprentice? Because I'm sure many people are going to hear that and just think you're fired statement. And they don't really know what it takes to do that, that whole. So you send an application. How does it work?
Well, at that time I was 16. I was either 15 or no, I think I was 16. And you have to fill out an application form, as you say. And I asked my business studies teacher to help me because I was really struggling. But he just kind of coached me and like kind of supported me through it. And then you go to, it was in St. James or in Victoria, and you go to like these rounds and rounds of auditions with that, like almost like a speed networking kind of thing, because you have like various different tables that you're kind of going through. And then they ask you questions, and it's like there's loads of people there. There's probably like 200, 300 people.
Oh, wow. Everybody fighting.
Yeah, all throughout the day. And then the next round after that, if I'm correct in saying, was like a group interview, I think. And you kind of have to like stick out in a group. And then after that, then the day ends, and then they tell you if you're going to move on to the next stage. And the next stage is ultimately the decider just before you go on the show. But I didn't make it onto that stage. I mean,
you never know whether it's either a career maker or a career breaker, because it's certain types of people that survive TV shows.
Definitely.
Right?
I mean, I'm not glad that I didn't go on, but I obviously wasn't ready for that kind of, and that was just not my journey. But then, interestingly, the first winner of The Apprentice, which was Tim, I've lost his surname now, but his first name is Tim. I think it's Black. No, I can't remember his surname, sorry. But Tim, who's the first winner of The Apprentice, I remember when I was 17 and he had set up his business. I had my first business meeting with him.
Wow.
So it was kind of like a full circle moment. And actually, his company were the first people to ever give me a loan when I wanted to, a business loan, when I wanted to start my first business after uni. So it was like good. I had met him at 17. I'd actually met his dad as well. His dad is based in Dalston.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his dad owns a record shop in Dalston, and I'd met his dad and I spoke to his dad, and then from there, and that was just random actually, meeting his dad, but that was through some other things I was up to. But
and what was that first business that he supported?
Oh, that was actually not my first business for real, but that was like my first official serious business.
Yeah.
But that business was, I was in film screenings. So I really wanted to grow. I had been doing film screenings I was doing, it was independent film screenings, and I'd been doing that for about 2 to 3 years. And I really wanted to grow. And I was like, I want to get a business loan. Like, I want to get a loan and see how I can try and do something with this. And yeah, that's what I used that loan for.
Amazing. And was film a big part of your childhood? Like, what drove you towards doing film?
That's a good question. It wasn't film was a big part of my childhood, but not in that same sense. I think what had happened was with the film screenings, well, that's what I say, it wasn't really my first business. It was the first one that actually had built up traction, because the reason I got into film screenings was I had a PR agency. And through my PR agency, I was working with independent artists, and I was meeting a lot of directors, a lot of film directors, music video directors, and a lot of these people were similar age to me, similar space to me. And I realized that they were making all these short independent films, just trying to like, start their journeys, but they had nowhere to ever screen them. And I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity for me to see, like, maybe I can use this to also brand myself, to also test out my own experience. So it was when Box Park had just opened, the Box Park in Shoreditch. This is probably like 2015, or maybe 2015, yeah. So I approached Box Park and I said, can I do my screenings here? And they were like, yeah, like, definitely, like, come on board kind of thing. So I did a year of screenings at Box Park. And then it really built up a lot of traction, and I was like, oh, I'm onto something. So then I moved it to Dalston Roof Park, and I did a Dalston Roof Park from about 2016 to 2018.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and that was really good. But then so at this point, I was like building up traction with my film screenings. So I knew I needed some money to try to, like, an injection of money to try and grow. And then I went and did the loan.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, it's so interesting because obviously you see film festivals, they're normally these glitzy things in Cannes, and you wonder, how do you access that sort of world? So yeah, it's really interesting that you managed to bring your community together and actually build a platform.
Yeah, and I mean, it served me a great deal, because I ended up closing that during COVID, but it served me it gave me a great opportunity, I would say, because it kind of takes me to where I'm at now, and it's been like you just start to see how everything is so interlinked, and how every opportunity can lead you to your next opportunity, and just like keep doing good work kind of thing, and it will come around. But yeah, it was good.
Amazing. So with that community that you built, is that where you realized that now I've met enough people, I can build this thing, Holiday Club?
No, not really. So my journey is a bit a bit crazy. I was doing this all alongside. So I had actually started, to give more context to Holiday Club. Holiday Club really comes from my own personal journey. The reason why I was starting all these businesses was I just wasn't getting the opportunities. I was applying for jobs, and nobody was hiring me. Like, and I mean, I probably being in it, I felt like nobody was hiring. Well, nobody was hiring me, but I probably felt a lot more sadder than maybe the situation was. But it was just like, I just got fed up. I was like, I'm trying my best. I've done all these things growing up, and I had purposely made a decision during university. I wasn't going to pursue anything so I could focus on my degree. And I felt like I'd built enough experience before university. I'd done another internship after university, and I felt like I was ready. Like, and I was just applying for all these jobs, and no one was hiring me. So I was like, well, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to, like, try and find some opportunities myself and develop myself and learn everything myself. And I was still applying for jobs, but at a point I just gave up because I just felt like it wasn't working. So I've forgotten the question and the tangent of all this.
It's okay. No, there was a perfect tangent because it was a very personal experience. But yeah, it was how Holiday Club came to be.
Yeah, sorry. So because of all that, what I was experiencing, I felt like, well, if I'm in the midst of this and I'm experiencing this, and I don't know how to navigate the creative industry, despite having done all these internships and stuff, I was like, I can't imagine how someone who's in the very beginning of their journey would feel. And I felt at that time, I thought that was working with secondary schools and sixth forms. So I was doing a lot of work, and I just volunteered, to be honest, in secondary schools across East London and South London. And I realized that, yeah, there was this big gap where people who are around ages 14 to 18 didn't really know around what the creative industry was. They didn't know what opportunities were there. They didn't even understand a roles past a journalist or beyond an anchor. Like, they didn't really get to see that there's this whole world that exists of this industry. behind the scenes. And because I was doing all these various different things, whether it be PR, whether it be the screenings, whatever it was, I saw so much and saw, like, I'd never heard of a gaffer before. I'd gone into all this stuff, and then I met a gaffer or a spark, all these different things. So I was like, I'm gonna go and volunteer my time and see. And that was really, like I was saying now, like a research phase, because then I realized that as much as I wanted to help the 14 to 18-year-old group, they were at a time in their lives where there's just so much being thrown at them, and they need to focus on GCSEs, getting into uni or not getting into uni. It was just such a pivotal time for them that it wasn't, what I was offering wasn't the right time for a lot of young people. But I still do try to volunteer in schools now, just more as a support thing, but less of, I'm building a program around that. And then that was kind of really how Holiday Club was formed. It was really on my own personal journey, and just wanting to do something that will change how the creative industry is accessed.
Amazing. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because the creative world actually is its own ecosystem, right? As you said, gaffers, sparks. There's all of these people that you'd never come into contact with unless you've been on a film set, unless you've been, on a photo shoot. I think the first time I even knew that a photographer had an assistant was when I was on set, and I was like, who's this person holding the thing?
Exactly. Like, you've got a DOP, you've got a cinematographer, you've got a sound recorder, producer. Like, there's so many different roles that exist. And if you don't have a family member that's in that world, or if you don't, these are not camera facing roles, so you never really find out about them unless you're super, super, super into film or into photography. And I just felt like there should be more conversation around those roles, because they're very well paid jobs as well. Like, people make a good living out of them. You don't have to you can be in media in all facets of what the industry offers. So I just wanted to kind of bring more awareness around that.
Amazing. Yeah, because there could be someone out there that they don't want to be an actor, they don't want to be, but they want to be involved in it. And
100%.
being a focus puller is a very important part of making a movie. And
100%.
it's a, you could think of it as a small part of building the entire process, but actually it's a very integral part of the system. That's amazing. So then because when you started Holiday Club, it was obviously a very organic process. When did it get to the point where you started the magazine itself?
Yeah, okay. So basically what happened was, during COVID, I was still doing my film screenings. I shut it down towards the end of COVID, but just at the beginning of COVID, I started doing my film screenings. And then so I collaborated the two. So I brought what I was doing with Holiday Club with the film screening. I was building like a film school. And then I ended up closing down the film screenings. And then I was like, okay, how can I really look at what I'm doing in Holiday Club and what is the real potential here? And I had learned a lot from doing that film school. So I was like, okay, we're going to do this summer school, and we're going to brand it like very similar to how, like, you're on your summer school holidays kind of thing. And then but then the other part of me was like, okay, it's great to do these workshops, but what do people walk away with? Like, like, everybody like is doing workshops, like, that's great, but these people need a portfolio. You need something that when you're going to meet people, you've got industry standard photo shoots, you've got something tangible to talk to people with, which is what I didn't have at that time. I did to a degree, but I could have had more. You just want to put your best foot forward going into situations. So I was like, okay, we're going to do this magazine. And I tested the magazine for 1 year. And I worked with a good friend of mine, Jams, who also runs a charity organisation, and he's a grime artist. And he was the cover star. And then all the different industry people I knew, I asked them if they would feature, and everyone was like, yeah, sure. So that was the first version of the magazine, and it was all produced by the summer school participants and worked really well. And then I was like, okay, we have something here. And then the second year is when we now was like, okay, I want to really do this magazine, and I want to scale it up, and I want to really tell a story of what it looks like. And also I wanted the magazine to provide like a guide for people as well, because we get quite a lot of people apply for the summer school, but we can't take everybody on. And also I just thought to myself, like, what my journey was like. If there was a magazine that told me at that time, oh, this is what a brand partnership is, or this is what a deck is, or, just little nuggets like that you only get when you're really in the industry. So I was like, I want these people that we feature in this magazine to share that insight, so that whoever buys this magazine or reads this magazine can be like, okay, this magazine is like almost like a guideline to like building a career in the industry.
Right.
And then likewise, the people producing the magazine, which is the young people that come on board the summer school, have like an industry standard portfolio ready to go.
Amazing. That's incredible. I mean, I wish somebody gave me
Mm.
just a small 10-page
Yeah.
guidebook of how to,
Yeah.
even access the industry, yet
Mm.
alone how to actually build pitch decks and all of
Yeah.
this. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that, it's funny. People think that the creative world is inaccessible and people are very closed. But actually, once you start speaking to people, they're very open and willing to share information.
100%.
It's as soon as you're through the door, everybody's very giving, and it's a very strong community actually.
Yeah, I agree.
And especially in terms of like giving back to the younger crowd, I feel like the younger generation, it's about building a community instead of, oh, I'm the best and wait for your time, kid.
Yeah.
I think that moment's kind of gone. So I think it's really amazing that there is one space that, if this you have a family member that's really interested in going into this world, you can hand them one publication, and then that could drive them into 100 different avenues of the creative industry.
100%. And I mean, the people that we feature in the magazine, like whether it be like Casablanca Paris or Samuel Ross or whoever's featured in the magazine, it's people who are in contemporary culture who are leading their own path and have very different journeys. And it's also to show that no one journey is linear. Like Samuel built his company from a bedroom business to now scaling over 20 million. Whereas you have somebody like, I'm trying to think, maybe Gary Gill, who's a session hairstylist as well, who hasn't necessarily got a business. Well, he has salons, but the interview we did with him just focused solely on being a session stylist and just what that world looks like doing it at the highest level in luxury. It's like various different journeys, but provide great context to anybody who wants to work in the creative industry.
No, absolutely. No, it's brilliant. And what are the further aims of Holiday Club? Obviously, you have the magazine, and you bring in well-known artists and people within the space to encourage the younger audience. Do you have any other aspirations of where Holiday Club will go? I know that you've mentioned before that you're having students coming from further afield. It's not just the UK; they're actually coming in from Europe.
Yeah, I mean, Sky. It's like the aspirations for Holiday Club are so wide. I mean, in one aspect now our work is diversified anyway. So now we have one aspect which is focused on talent incubation and the talent development, which is like activities like our summer school, which is you come in for 3 weeks, you learn or enhance the skills you already have around the creative industry. You work towards producing this magazine, and then we tell that story. And we're going to add other programs. Like right now, we're looking at adding in a hair course to that, because we offer hair and grooming on the summer school. So we're looking at the development of that. Then we have another aspect, which is media and cultural influence. So we're really looking to grow our media presence and what we're doing with the magazine, and hopefully move into like podcast or production. We're still kind of evaluating and seeing what that looks like, but that's like the next phase of what we're going to do. And then our third phase is really recruitment. So we've already started in that space, and we're working with partners, particularly at the moment, it's been particularly people in the advertising space that we've worked with. But it's about, I say advertising, but production also. And we've got a partnership with ITV at the moment.
Amazing.
Which is about photography and production. And that's for someone who's a little bit past the internship stage, but it's a job on any other set like it would be. And they work. So far, we've done Love Island and we've done Big Brother on that. And we're going to do another show in December. We also worked with North Six, which is a production company. And we did they took on 2 interns from us, actually, from our summer school.
Amazing.
And that was good. But likewise, we just hired for like a senior account executive and advertising agency, I should say. So I guess our focus is really now on building in with early to mid-stage creative professionals. And for us, a creative professional is not necessarily someone who is hands-on. It can be people who are in communications as well. So we're just looking to build in that space. And I think to say to what you were saying about us having people from outside, I mean, like last year we had Jesh, who's from Italy. He was on the summer school. We had someone from Scotland. This year we've had Theo, who's from France. So, I mean, the opportunity to grow into Europe is definitely there. I think most likely after we've kind of really hit the business running, like in terms of really mapped out where we are, I think we will next go to New York.
Nice.
But yeah, and we'll see what happens.
Amazing. Well, yeah, to start something as an idea and then
Yeah.
it grow into a community that then reaches America, and
Yeah.
it shows testament to you and the
Mm.
people involved that want to take it to something bigger than they originally thought.
Definitely, definitely. I think you have to do that. Like the mission is bigger than me and bigger than what my even what my vision is now. I'm sure like as we continue it'll be something else and something else and something else. But yeah, it's the core of what we do is talent incubation, and we're trying our best to continue to develop that, continue to perfect it, which I think we're doing quite a good job of at the moment. So now it's like, okay, what are the other avenues we can explore, and how can we continue to help more young people, right? So, like I say, with our magazine, it's fully produced by young people, but when we do more things in media, it'll be fully produced by young people as well. It's going to be continuous evolution of being able to support more and more young people in that space, and that really is around the like me, and I say young people, but to be honest they don't call themselves young people. I just say that just because of like how people understand it,
Right.
but these people are like 25, like, so I
No,
don't know
they're
who,
young. They're young.
yeah, they're young, I guess. But that's on our summer school, but like recently worked for someone who's like 28, 29. So it depends, but yeah, I guess, yeah, that's just where we're at the moment.
And also, I think that's a good point to make, actually, because, you know, some people, they might have gone into a job that necessarily they were like, oh, I should just do this because I did the whole uni thing.
Yeah.
But actually, I've always wanted to do something creative. And then they hit 28, 29, and then they realize, oh, there's this holiday club. They've been introduced to this world, and they think to themselves, it's not too late. I can actually do
Yeah,
a quick left turn and do
100%.
what I've always dreamed of doing. So,
100%. I agree with you. I mean, even like my mum, I was like talking to my mum recently. My mum's in her 50s. She wants to like see what other avenues she can explore, and like such a creative mind and just hasn't had the opportunity to really put it to the test. And I think that's the important thing for me, and probably like my mission, or maybe not my mission, but maybe like what I'm about as a person is like no one should be confined to anything. Like you're a session stylist but you have a podcast. Like why should somebody be confined to one thing? If you have an opportunity, you have an interest, explore everything and see what works for you.
absolutely.
So
Very beautifully said. What one thing that I think most people don't understand is, you know, building a charity, building an organization, building a community. Obviously, on the outside, everything looks great and everything works perfectly, and you've got funding. But obviously, it's not that easy to grow a charity.
yeah.
What are the biggest obstacles you've come across, whether that's building, finding funding, whether there's any government programs? Yeah, what have been the biggest obstacles that you've had to cross to get to this point?
That's a super good question. I mean, there's so many obstacles. There's so
Well,
many
you're building a
obstacles every
business,
yeah.
which is a headache. But then when you're
Every
trying to
day.
build something for young people, you
Yeah.
would think that there would be some help, whether
Yeah.
it's from large companies or whether it's from government. It's just curious how you went
Yeah.
around it.
I mean, yeah, it's an ongoing journey, and I think that's why you have to take an entrepreneurial approach. I mean, definitely one of the biggest challenges is always going to be funding, like, right, because similar to whether it be the NHS, anything that's government or like that is, what's the word I'm looking for, anything that is just solely on built on helping people doesn't necessarily generate a great what's the word, generate revenue, right? Like the summer school is free for people to attend, so it doesn't generate any revenue, so you have to have an entrepreneurial approach. I mean, definitely we've been fortunate, fortunate for the last 3 years to have funding from Lambeth Council to run the summer school, and we worked with Offspring last year who gave us a bit of money in terms as well to help us kind of get things going. But we definitely need more, because at the end of the day you're always doing things on like a shoestring budget, and people are often giving up their time, and we're going above and beyond to try and make things happen, which is a massive sacrifice. And there's so much in that space that we've had to do to try to generate funds, or like use our own personal funds. You know, that's just the nature of that game. But then one of the things I'm looking at now is, okay, I don't want to be in that rat race. I've been there, done that many times. I understand how hard it is for entrepreneurs to generate funds or businesses to generate funds, which is why we now are exploring media and recruitment, because those are opportunities for us to really make some income of ourselves and not have to solely be reliant on funding. I mean, funding and grants is definitely great, but our success rate is like 0.0001%. Like we've only ever been successful with that Lambeth Council funding, and that's the only fund we've ever been successful with, and that's only once a year. And with the amount of work we're trying to do, that doesn't cover it. That it just doesn't cover what we're trying to do. It doesn't cover our ambitions. It's not that large of an amount. And even I'm not bringing it onto the council or onto the government, to be fair, because there's so much challenges right now. We're in an economic crisis and budgets are tight. But yeah, we are trying to build in the media and cultural space so we can essentially generate more partnerships with brands, and also equally in the recruitment space whereby we now have a Patreon system, and we're using that to ultimately help us reach a lot more people who can support us in what we're doing with the charity side.
Amazing. Yeah, it seems that getting money out of government is always tricky, but it's really nice to see brands like Offspring and others step forward. I think there's so many brands out there that claim to be charitable. It's nice when they actually put their money where their mouth is, and for something like this where you're actually building the next generation of creatives. Like, we don't want just AI bots doing everything. Like, that's just not the world we want to live in. Let AI do stacking shelves in Tesco's and let us do all the fun stuff. Has that AI world come into Holiday Club's vision of the future at all? Have you guys been thinking about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to, right? Like, AI is literally the next phase in technology. So we definitely are thinking about it. I mean, we just used it recently on what was it for? It was something to do with the design, but it was like led by the graphic design team that were running the workshops. But I can't remember exactly what it was that they were doing, but it's some type of AI something. I don't know. But I mean, we have to look at AI because AI is where the future is at, and we want to be innovative, right? Like, we don't want to just like stay stagnant. So yeah, I'm looking at AI and I'm doing a lot of research. I was watching a podcast recently, and like the CEO of Chanel, she was saying they're looking at how they incorporate AI into their business, whether it be like through chat boxes or whatever. Like, I'm open to seeing how AI can be beneficial, and I mean, everybody has to look at it. You can't ignore it.
Right.
So
I feel like, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like I'm on that edge of the generation of leave it to the young guns.
Really? Oh my God, no.
I think I appreciate it, and I understand where it could live within the world and within a creative space, and it's definitely helpful. But it's really nice to know that there soon will be a space for young people to get into that world, because because AI is like this big thing. It's like the elephant in the room. And nobody really knows what it is. Like, on a technical level, and I'm not sure really we could all explain exactly what it is. But it's soon going to take over our lives, and it's I'm just scared about seeing a whole movie made in AI and not realizing.
I mean, yeah, definitely with AI, you lose a lot of nuance.
Tons.
You lose a lot of nuance. But I think, I mean, for me, I'm quite pro AI. I feel like I see the benefits of it, and it does help me in my day-to-day schedule. So, for example, I use Motion, which is an AI like organizer kind of thing, which does my day-to-day calendar quite well. And then I use ChatGPT. I won't lie,
Of course.
a little bit of ChatGPT.
Everyone, you need to write a serious letter. I think it's time.
I use a little bit of ChatGPT as well, so I can't be mad at that. But I think I'm open with it. I think I agree with you. Like, we don't want it to replace jobs, but it's kind of like how, if you think about it, like with the self-checkout machines, right? Technology is there to help us kind of like be a bit more quicker, to help us like have a lot more pace in life. So at one time you would have never had self-checkout tills and all that stuff, but now you do it, and that's everyday life. And I think that's basically like the job of AI. It's a shame that it probably will replace a lot of jobs, but I think as a individual you have to stay abreast of where society is changing. It's like us kind of rejecting the internet. There were people that were like, oh, the internet's never going to be a thing, and it's like, you can't live without it. Like, you need the internet, like you need maps, do you know what I mean? Like, you need all these things. So I think we just have to find ways to stay ahead of technology, or at least be open to the changes in culture with technology, and understand how you navigate that.
No, very well said. And maybe you've convinced me to look into it more. Yeah. I mean, I definitely dabble in the ChatGPT. Maybe more so asking silly questions, because obviously it's a fun new space. And I think Twitter or X has a new one called Grok, which apparently is a
God.
little bit more controversial, and you can get it to make jokes and stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
so it's becoming sentient in my mind, which is kind of freaky. But
Yeah, that's a bit okay. I don't know about that. That's a bit that's a bit different. I'm not sure about that one yet.
yeah, yeah. Um, I've actually never met anybody that has a BEM. Could you explain what it is and what it was like to receive it and how you received it?
Yeah, so a BEM is a British Empire Medal, and I got that in 2019. And that was for my contribution to the creative industry and also to the film industry. Or no, was it? No, it was the creative industry and youth services I got that for. So you get a letter in the post to say that you have been nominated. Or yeah, you get a letter in the post to say you've been nominated. And then you have to say whether you accept or you decline. And if you accept, you accept it, and then you go to a ceremony whereby you receive the medal. And there's because it was a BEM, I went to a ceremony where there was like the lieutenant of I lived in Cambridgeshire at the time, so there was the lieutenant of Cambridge, there was all these other officials there as well. And then yeah, you accept it, and then after that you have the end of year garden or the summer garden party. So the summer garden party is where you'll have like the royal family, and there's everybody who's received an award that year will go to that summer garden party.
Oh
And
wow, that's
yeah,
quite overwhelming to be there with the
yeah,
royal family.
yeah. It was like at the time it was Queen Elizabeth,
Oh wow.
Prince Harry, and yeah, and Beatrice.
Okay.
Beatrice, they were there.
Did you get told how you have to say hello to these people? And
Well, it was actually interesting. Like they're like, yeah, if they approach you, no, they don't actually tell you how to like say hello or anything. There's like areas where you can go and areas where you can't go, and they come around and they just say hi to people, and you can go into the garden and stuff like that. It's quite chill, but obviously there's security around and
yeah, it's
and
quite
everything.
chill, but
Yeah.
there's guys with guns. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on, but you get like your checks before you come in, and then when you come in, there's like a little drinks reception, and then everyone kind of waits on the garden grounds, and then they come out and they do a wave, and then they start talking, that kind of like floating around and talk to people, but you can't bring out your phones and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because we see these people on the TV. We see the Christmas speech that they do, the New Year's, whatever they do. And but then to be amongst them, it's always like, are they real people? Are they just a person on a coin and a banknote?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can buy merchandise there as well.
Oh yeah?
I think so. Yeah, I think you can buy merchandise there too.
And then how do you think do you think that since receiving this award, which is incredible by the way, and do you feel like it's given you like an extra skip in your step? Do you feel more confident when you go into these rooms and asking for funding and building your company? Like, does it change anything about your day to day?
I wouldn't say it changes anything about my day to day, but I would say it definitely opened a door. So, for example, and everything is about how you use the opportunity, right? Like, when I decided to accept it, my reasoning for wanting to accept it was one, like, someone had nominated me, so I thought like the fact that someone's nominated me for that, I'm quite happy to do. Like, yeah, why not? Like, why not accept it?
Did you find out who it was?
No.
Oh, you never know.
They don't tell you who it is that
really?
accepted, that nominated
you. Didn't get any ears on the ground to find out?
Not really.
No.
I just kind of thought like maybe it was like a family member or a friend, or because they have to go through this whole like application process themselves to kind of fill it out, and the whole thing is meant to be quite confidential. I know when you get a MBE, they call you, and then that's a bit different, but it's like quite a long process people have to go through to kind of. So I just thought like if they want to tell me, they'll reveal themselves, kind of thing.
Okay.
But what was I saying? So I forgot the question, sorry.
Just whether having the award changed anything about your career and building Holiday Club.
I wouldn't necessarily, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily say it changed my career, but sometimes I think I look at opportunities and see, like, one, I was saying that, yeah, I was grateful that someone nominated me, so that was why I accepted it. And also I look at opportunities and I understand that it's what I make of the opportunities. So for example, when I had met the lieutenant of Cambridgeshire, she's taken quite a liking to me, and I built up a bit of a rapport with her, and she introduced me to somebody else, like a group of entrepreneurs who live in Cambridge, And and also I was on ITV. That was another thing. So it had opened up a few doors for me. So I had done press on. I was on ITV, like the channel. They had interviewed me and came to my office at that time, and then I got nominated for like the top 50 most influential women in Cambridge, and I was on that
Amazing.
like list of top 50 women in Cambridge. And then I had met this. The lieutenant had introduced me to a set of entrepreneurs in Cambridge, and from there, I had met one of the managing directors, or was he a managing director? I think he was a managing director or a manager. I can't remember his exact title of the big shopping centre that was in Peterborough at the time, which is where I lived. And then I was able to bridge an opportunity, a partnership between British Land and Holiday Club. So then British Land gave us some money to run Holiday Club in Peterborough. So although I wouldn't necessarily say not winning, being awarded rather, the BEM changed my life, I looked at it as like I'm being given an opportunity. What can I do with this opportunity? And I would have never met the Lieutenant of Cambridge, or Cambridgeshire rather, if I hadn't won that. So it was just about how I was using the opportunity to benefit me and what I wanted, really, I would say.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. And it speaks volumes to you as an entrepreneur and your character to see this opportunity and run with it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would sit there with the award, it's on the shelf,
Yeah.
they congratulate themselves, and then they just sit at home and talk about it in the pub and not do anything with it. So yeah, it's amazing that you charged forward and used it to the best of your ability.
I agree, and I think also I have to be very conscious of the type of space I'm in, which is in the charity space. I know how people perceive things, and I know how it can be beneficial in terms of like people seeing, or it validates for people that, oh, this person is who they say they are, or they are doing what they say they are. So I'm conscious of that as well. But yeah, I think I look at everything as an opportunity, and I'm grateful for every opportunity I get, and I just try to make the most of it.
Amazing. And we're actually doing a collaborative t-shirt, Holiday Club and Phantom Towels, and it's a way to raise money for Holiday Club, and all profits will be going to Holiday Club. Yeah, could you tell people what the funds would be used for, and yeah, just so then people know where their money's going and where it's going to benefit?
Yeah, so I think thank you firstly for that, because I mean I was saying to Nat, who I should have actually introduced you to when we came to the party and stuff, because he's a session stylist as well, and I work with Nat a lot. But I was saying to Nat,
he's the barber, no?
Yeah.
We've met before.
Oh, have you? Okay,
ages ago.
okay.
Because he works with Anthony Turner quite a bit in the past,
does,
right? Yeah, we met on some of Anthony's shows. I mean, this was years ago, and I had long hair, and I was like a vegan, and I was a mess. You know?
Okay.
So yeah, I've met Nat before.
Okay, wicked. Because I was saying to Nat, because every time somebody says they want to, like, whether it be a donation or they want to come out and help or whatever it is, I'm always so taken aback, because at the end of the day, people don't have to do these things, right? Like, it's a testament to your character as well and what you're building within Phantom Towers as well. So I think firstly, thank you for that, and then secondly, I think in terms of the t-shirt, I was quite excited about that actually, because I think it gives us a great opportunity to raise some money for what we're trying to do around this media and giving access to people. And I had mentioned to you that what we want to build on what we did last year. So our magazine goes into a selection of different barbers and hairdressers in the local community. And we're ultimately trying to build stands so that they can sit nicely in the shops, because we donate them to, well, last year we gave them to about 15 barbershops and hair shops across South London, and actually we did South London, West London and North London last year. And the aim is that we know that some people are not going to access our magazine just by virtue of maybe they might not know our platform. We know that they maybe not necessarily even really know about the creative industry, but we know everybody gets their hair, or most people get their hair done, whether it be a barber's or a hairdresser. So we place the magazines in these barbers and hairdressers across London, but they're ultimately right now they just sit on the tables kind of thing. There's no woo-ha to it, there's no story. So we want to build stands that when they are in the shops, it really stands out in the shops, and someone's like, what is that? Like, even if they're just sitting there, just it's something different to do whilst on your phone. So ultimately the money will go towards that, building those stands, and just kind of giving the magazine a bit of a life when they go into the shops.
Amazing. Yeah, because as we both know, a barbershop, a hair salon is a place of community. It's a place where people gather. it's not just somewhere where you go to get your hair done.
Yeah,
It's family, friends, and literally
exactly.
kids running around.
Yeah.
So if there are these centerpieces where the magazine's been being showcased, then people will be drawn to it. It's
100%.
you don't want it just scattered on the table with the Hello and
Yeah,
OK magazine.
exactly, exactly. We want to give it some life and some personality and show that, yeah, just make it stand out a bit more in the shop. So
Absolutely, and especially with how valuable the content is, it's something that it shouldn't just be thrown on the side. It's something that should be cherished, and I think that's what's so intriguing for us and supporting Holiday Club is that, it's all about access, visibility, inclusivity, and also the way it looks. We thought as soon as we saw like the logo and the name, we were like, oh, we love this. It's like fits our brand really well. It's like it's all about youth. It's all about good energy, and we just thought to ourselves like this is like the perfect partnership to begin, many more that we hope to do in the future. So I think that's really cool for people to see. And also when people are walking around and they see it, they'll be like, there's the Holiday Club stand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's that memory, right? And I think you hit home right with saying that barbershops and hair salons and hair shops and all these things, they're like the center of a lot of communities, and people go there to feel relaxed. They go in there feeling one way, come out feeling like energized because you look good, you feel good, and yeah, we want to be a part of that story for people, but also we know it's a great way to be able to access more people who wouldn't necessarily traditionally access our platform or access the people that we showcase. But if you can just for 10 minutes read something while you're getting your hair cut or while you're doing your hair, and it's like, oh, okay, what's this thing? And then go off and explore it. It plays a massive part.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to ask what your hopes and dreams for the future, like what for Holiday Club, for yourself. Obviously you started off with a cupcake business and you've ended up getting a BEM and all the way through to now owning Holiday Club and building that. Where do you see yourself going? What's the future for you?
That's such an interesting question. I mean, now having this conversation, I just think about all the different things I've done. I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, oh, I'm tired now.
Yeah, like I'm even thinking to myself, oh God, I can't believe I've done this and that. But where do I see myself going? I'm interested. I myself am interested in where I see myself going, because I'm at this point, I'm not really 100% sure, if I'm being honest. I think I have a vision of my future, which includes success, but I don't know necessarily the points that's going to get that. Like, for example, right now I'm executive producing a film, and that's taken me on a journey, and like I just enjoy those things, and I'm getting a lot more into design and furniture design and spatial design.
Could you share anything about the film?
Yeah. I'm actually going to the film set after this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So it's a film it's a film called Mouthful of Gold. It's a documentary, and the documentary is all about Gold Grills and the founder of Gold Grills, but also how grills has grown into contemporary culture and has become almost somewhat of an architect piece within culture. And it's great. We've done 2 editions of the book. We did the first edition very independently, which is like most of my projects. And then we partnered with IDEA, which is a division of Dover Street Market. And we did a massive New York Fashion Week pop-up last year. And we produced a book with them. And the second edition featured Marc Jacobs, in addition to ASAP Ferg, ASAP Rocky, and a few other people. So.
Just a few big names.
Yeah, just a few people. And now we're finally coming to a close with the film. And the film is it's a documentary piece, but it's again features ASAP Ferg, ASAP Rocky, Goldie. It features Michelle Lamy, and just various people in contemporary culture who can really speak to what grills has grown into and what it's become. And it's filmed across New York, It's filmed across New York, Atlanta, Miami, and London. And yeah, I mean, that's been a journey in itself, and building that out and doing that independently again. And like my role on that was as an executive producer, but also in terms of bringing brands on board and getting brand support for the film. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where my journey is going to take me. I'm interested in so many different things across culture. Like I'm really starting to get into design more, and I was at Salone last year in Italy, and enjoying around furniture design, and who knows, maybe I might do something in that space as well. And
Amazing.
I don't know, but in terms of that and Holiday Club, it's just bringing the worlds together. Like, I'm having conversations now about us doing a pop-up during Milan Design Week and seeing how that grows. And I just think I have a love for culture, a love for contemporary culture, and I'm interested to see how I bring my values and my impact in those spaces. And maybe, I don't know, I don't know where my journey is going to take me. I just know that I'm on a path, and I feel it's actually funny that we're talking about this for the first time in a long time. I feel like I'm on the right path. So yeah, I'm interested to see where that's going to go. And I think for Holiday Club, I think as people know it now as like a talent incubator, we're going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to do really interesting projects and start to build our own studio and start to produce our own content and material, and hopefully ultimately be able to bring more opportunities to people who not necessarily are like in need, but more opportunities to people, and create a landscape in the creative industry that is fair. I think that's always my biggest thing. It's about being fair and just exposure to things. And yeah, like, I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Maybe we'll do Art Basel, maybe we'll do Salone. I don't know what we'll do next, but it's just continue to stay abreast of culture.
Amazing. That's so inspiring. And for somebody to say that they just feel like they're on the right path after doing so many amazing things just goes to show that there's no end to the mountain climb. And the world is your oyster, and you can do whatever you want in that space.
And I really truly believe that, and I really feel like I hope more people get the opportunity to feel that as well, because I know, like we were saying earlier, like so many people go into careers and end up that they don't really like this career and don't have the opportunity to change. But I feel like it's super important, even if you don't have a lot or you don't have a lot of access or whatever the barrier is, just find something in the day that can give you a little bit more access, a little bit more, because it will pay off. And I feel like I'm maybe not financially right now. Maybe I wouldn't say I'm financially paying off for it right now, but I feel internally that I'm finally getting to the place of like, I actually understand what I'm doing now. And I think if I hadn't done all these things, like the film screening or like the what else have I done? The film, whatever else I've done, whatever else it is.
Hang on, we'll get the 42 page.
You get it, like whatever else it is, I can't even remember. But like, if I hadn't done all these things, I wouldn't be at this point. Like I say, with like the apprentice thing, that gave me the confidence to approach Tim. At that time, like I'm 17 and I'm in sixth form, and I just was like, I know I need to do this business thing. And then Tim gave me the inspiration to keep going. And then he didn't give me funding at that time, but like 6 years later, his organization gave me the funding, and I've just kept on and basically I just want people to just keep on keeping on. Like, it's super hard. And I say this to the young people we work with all the time, because I get it. Like, it's so frustrating, like working in this industry sometimes, or like trying to access an industry that you know nothing about. But if no one gives it to you, you got to try and get it yourself. And just, I don't know, just keep on keeping on, I think is like the only way through.
I think that's a really beautiful way to end the podcast. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for being an inspiration to all of the young people and old people out there. And we can't wait to see what Holiday becomes, and we can't wait to see where you go. And I think you're a shining beacon in the community, and we're very grateful to have you. So thank you so much.
And thank you, Jonathan, for having me as well.
Thank you.